Three of the week. Hold on. We're streaming. I didn't start recording. False start. Taiwan Special, episode 3 of the week. We're talking DACA. So I've made the case. I've talked about knowing each other, and I've talked about. In fact, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna go make a quick note here. I'm gonna go change the name of this. Knowing each other. I'm going to add that to the title. I hope that doesn't mess stuff up. There you go. Okay. No, because as I do these things, I mean, if you want to know, pardon my French, I get right done with a podcast, not knowing what I'm going to talk about, and then I've recorded the audio, and when I save the audio file, that's when I create the title. Right when it's fresh in my mind. Okay. Excuse me. DACA. I've explained a lot of background. I'm going to review, cover stuff. There were ideas I did not put in the Pacific Times stuff. I'm going to be putting this on YouTube. I'm going to do a short DACA thing on YouTube. No citizenship for the parents, period. They're gone. They stay out. They can never be citizens, ever. They might be able to get a visa if they go through proper channels. They have to self-deport. You're reporting them. You are reporting them. And there needs to be a disciplinary process for self-reporting. That should be a lesser offense, but like they're gone. You are not a citizen of the other country. Your English is better than your home country, your home country's language. I don't know how you'd establish that, but like it's got to be proven. Probably would be true. But I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to take a kid that doesn't know his own mother and father's language, 18, 20 years old, throw him in another country where he has no passport, no ID, he's not taking driver's ed, he hasn't graduated from high school, he's got no credentials in that country, and just, okay, go back and live your life? That's as asinine as the Back to Africa movement. But at the same time, you can't be setting an example where people are going to be allowed to come in here. Fine, let them stay so we don't do Back to Africa 1800s nonsense injustice. Let's not compound injustice with injustice. Fine, but the price is going to be high. And we're going to you really need that, then we're going to do it how it needs to be done right. And I think Obama was trying to just do borderless mess everywhere. Chaos, society falls apart, elites rise up and control everything. That's what Obama was doing in his non-organization of DACA. Now, there was some wisdom to it. There was some value to it. God allows stuff to happen. I was talking to my friend today. Might is right is a bad virtue. The problem is God is almighty. So when God allows something, there's a grand purpose. It could take 1,000 years, but it actually works out for the better. So at the same time, someone does something bad. God allowed it. God's also going to allow us to go punish him for it. The guy that did something bad, punish him. So, so is the thing. God, as unjust as the DACA thing was, as wrong as Obama was in how he implemented it, God might be working through injustice to do something we didn't imagine. But we've got to do justice to get there. You cannot just rubber stamp these people and let them stay. Cannot. Mom and dad have to go back, never become citizens. If they go through a process, maybe they can go to the end of the line and get a visa the legitimate way. Maybe. But a DACA recipient never becomes a citizen of that country and never gets a visa to that country. Visa-less entry, a visa, it's called a no visa entry. That'll be called a landing visa. It's not a landing visa. It's a no visa entry. The United States and Taiwan, Hong Kong has this 90-day thing. In Taiwan, you have to have an airplane ticket out because it's an island out in the middle of the ocean. And you have to prove that you're not just coming here to stay. You have to have it's called an onward ticket. It can be on a boat, which is fine. Airplane, whatever. A lot of countries have, pardon my yawn, this no visa entry thing. Canada, you can't just go to Canada and stay there forever if you didn't know that. But you can go through Canada. Canadians can come through America and just coming through. That's fine. So, you can go back, DACA, they could go back and visit their home country, but no dual citizenship, 10 years. After 10 years, all right. If they're willing to do this 10 years later, but no. This is the other thing about this. See, the Democrats in Congress, I'm not going to talk about voters, I'm talking about Congress. America's so bad. It's not God bless America. It's God darn America. It's, the U.S., the KKK. It's so much America hating. Why is it that this Democrat Party that hates America so much would want to put all this hatred and injustice and evil of America onto these poor DACA people? With all the hatred and vomit against America that comes out of the mouths of congressional Democrats, why aren't they advocating deporting DACA recipients, DACA children? Why aren't they the ones trying to deport the DACA kids as an act of benevolent mercy to get them out of this country that they say is so evil and horrible? And then you've got the Republicans, the conservatives who think America is so wonderful, so great. Well, shouldn't we want to kind of let people share in the greatness to some extent? There's a lot of contradictory stuff that's going on here. So again, if you've got kids that have been transplanted here and uprooting them would do damage, one, you've got to prove it. And then there's a lot of restrictions. No, your parents go home and you can be here, but you're here now. You're here. You're not doing both ways. If you can get a passport in that other country, if you've already got one, that should be a question. Let them renounce. Maybe they got one on a technicality or something, but that's the other thing. How would they get a passport in that other country and then grow up here in America illegally and that country not tell us? So if you've gotten a passport in another country, maybe that other country owes America a fine. And you'd have to take it up with your own government and get a release that your government paid a $100,000 fine for not demanding that you go back home. There's got to be this is a tall order, and a lot of questions need to be set in order and put in place. But at the end of the day, if people are going to do the reasonable thing and take responsibility for stuff and not start an avalanche, fine. If they're going to do the work, let them get set up so that it doesn't do them an injustice. Fine. If avoiding injustice is the thing, then we avoid injustice, and that's it. We're not going to do social welfare programs. I've got something else I want to say. And I think it relates to this. I wanted to talk about this more. I was traveling in Hong Kong this past week. And I met with a big top insurance salesman lady. No, I'm not buying insurance. I'm not going to sell you that kind of stuff. But she does life insurance, securities, financial planning, and that type of stuff. She's Christian. And I was asking her, what business opportunities I should look for in Hong Kong to try to help Hong Kong. How can I use my business stuff, my books, everything I've done to help Hong Kong? She said, I don't know. I only know, and she gave me this book, L something. I don't, it's upstairs. I'll go get it. I might talk about it later. El Savoso, I believe is his name, El Savoso. In fact, you know what? I think I'm going to go do the search right now and find out what it was. Here, I'm going to grab my phone and do it on there. She said, God is in the business of transforming the world to be a better place. That's where your business needs to be. Okay, here we go. Transformation. El Savoso. I'm going to try this and see what I get. Yup, I was right. My memory served. El Savoso. Silvoso. Ed Not El. What am I doing? Ed Silvoso. I'm sorry. Ed Silvoso. Edward Silvoso. Silvoso. Ed Silvoso. Transformation. He's in his 70s. He's big into being a marketplace Christian, not a Sunday morning Christian, a marketplace Christian. The world is the place to worship Jesus. We worship Jesus by making society a better place. Whatever business does that will have profit. If your business makes the world a better place at the fundamental level, then your business will be profitable and stay afloat. Like that's the business, whatever the business is. At the foundational level, if people are getting better lives at the foundational level and your business is somehow, just even in small ways, just by existing in its manner, just by the manner in which it does things, if it's transforming the city around it, helping people to be better, not nagging and annoying and harassing people with Jesus, I don't mean that. But if it's genuinely lifting society at the molecular level, at the DNA level, at the cellular level, if you're just doing little things, maybe useful, encouraging tips of the day to employees that employees are thankful for, not nagging them with this annoying motivational stuff. Teamwork, get it, figure it out. I don't mean talking to employees like that. But if it genuinely helping to transform society at the cellular level, if that's what you're doing, then that's the business that we're in. And we're in business. We'll stay in business. God is in that business. And I was talking with her about the skyrocketing cost of living in Hong Kong. It's already too expensive to live, and the price is still going up. And I'm not going to get into the problems why, because that's not the point. I looked at her after hearing this and I said, God is not worried about the unaffordable cost of living in Hong Kong, is he? And she says, no, he's not. Because God has an answer for it. It's not that God just doesn't care and he's just going to let us sit out in the cold. It's not that he just doesn't care. It's that he's not worried about it. A lot of children are living with their parents, which may not entirely be a bad thing. That was kind of Jewish. People are having to learn how to be incredibly efficient with space and money and so forth. For a time, that might not be so bad. And if Hong Kong really goes through a genuine transformation, the way to help people in Hong Kong is to help them prosper so that they can afford the places that they need to live. Not find a bad guy who's doing this and we're going to beat him and try to rewind the past and undo what's already happened. Being mad about history, spinning our wheels while history's already moved on. By looking at the greater, and this was the point this week, the point. I said that's not the point. Actually, this is what the point was about. There's the details. There are the details. Or you could say in English, there is the details, and the details is like a title, so it's the singular. Okay, so there's the details, and there's the big picture. But there's also the overarching transformative work. God is transforming. We're talking caterpillar into butterfly. We're not just talking tadpole into toad or frog or however. We're talking, well, I like tadpole because the T rhymes. We're talking caterpillar, we're talking milkweed worm into butterfly. God is transforming things at the cellular level of who we are. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. And if we focus there and stay calm, keep calm and carry on, the British poster from World War II. Looking at all that's happened with DACA, if we require responsibility from people, and if we make sure that we don't do more injustice, just stop the injustice and that's it. Don't do handouts and stuff. I think we're going to see that maybe a lot of really great things have happened. They just have to finish. And I'm finished today. See you next week.